Have you ever felt like you're constantly pushing, striving, and forcing things to happen in your life, only to end up exhausted and stressed out? What if I told you there's a different way, a path of ease, flow, and profound power that has been celebrated for over 2,000 years? Today, we re-diving deep into the wisdom of one of history's most mysterious and influential thinkers, Lao Tzu. We'll explore how his ancient philosophy can help us navigate the chaos of modern life, find inner peace, and achieve more by doing less. So, grab a cup of tea, find a quiet spot, and let's journey into the heart of the Tao. Lao Tzu, which translates to Old Master, is the legendary author of the Tao Te Ching, a short but incredibly profound text that forms the foundation of Daoism. We don't know much about him for sure. Some say he was a keeper of records in the ancient Zhou dynasty court, who, disillusioned with the world, rode off on a water buffalo into the west, leaving behind his wisdom for a gatekeeper. Whether he was a single person or a collection of wise teachings, the power of his words is undeniable. The Tao Te Ching offers a radical alternative to the constant struggle for control and achievement that defines so much of our culture. At the very core of Lao Tzu's philosophy is the concept of the Tao, which is often translated as the way. But the very first line of the Tao Te Ching tells us, the Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. This is a heads up that we're dealing with something beyond simple words or definitions. Think of the Tao not as a destination, but as the natural, unfolding, cosmic process of everything. It's the underlying rhythm of the universe, the law of nature that makes rivers flow to the sea, seeds sprout into trees, and stars move across the sky. It's effortless, spontaneous, and all-powerful, yet it doesn't boast or command. The Tao is the ultimate mystery, the source from which all things arise, and to which they all return. So, if the Tao is this great, indescribable force, how are we supposed to live in harmony with it? This brings us to a key principle, Wu Wei, which is often translated as non-action or effortless action. Now, this doesn't mean sitting on the couch and doing absolutely nothing. That's inaction, not Wu Wei. Wu Wei is about acting in alignment with the natural flow of things, like a skilled surfer riding a wave. The surfer doesn't create the wave or fight against it. They feel its power and direction and use their skill to move with it gracefully. In our lives, Wu Wei means letting go of the need to force outcomes, to micromanage every detail, and to struggle against the current. Think about a time you tried really hard to make someone like you, or forced a creative idea that just wasn't ready. It probably felt awkward and draining, right? Now, think about a time when you were completely in the zone, where your actions felt fluid, intuitive, and almost effortless. That's the feeling of Wu Wei. It's about recognizing when to act and when to wait, when to push gently and when to step back and let things unfold on their own. Lao Tzu says, the Tao does nothing, yet nothing is left undone. It's a paradox. By ceasing to struggle, we often achieve the most. Another beautiful concept from Lao Tzu is the power of emptiness and simplicity. In our world, we're obsessed with accumulating more money, more followers, more stuff. We believe that having more will make us happier. Lao Tzu turns this idea on its head. He points out that the usefulness of a cup is in its emptiness, which allows it to hold water. The usefulness of a room is in its empty space, which allows us to live in it. This emptiness isn't a void, it's potential. By simplifying our lives, by letting go of a cluttered mind and a cluttered home, we create space. Space for new ideas, for peace, for genuine connection. It's about focusing on what is truly essential. Ask yourself, what are you holding on to that no longer serves you? What beliefs, possessions, or habits are just filling up space? Lao Tzu encourages us to return to the state of the uncarved block. The uncarved block is simple, natural, and full of potential. Before it's carved into something specific, it could be anything. By returning to this simplicity, we reconnect with our own authentic nature. Before the world told us who we should be. Lao Tzu's philosophy also champions humility and the wisdom of yielding. He often uses the metaphor of water. Water is soft and yielding, yet it can overcome the hardest rock. It doesn't compete. It finds the lowest path, nourishes everything it touches, and fills every space it enters. Lao Tzu says, the highest good is like water. He reminds us that true strength isn't in being rigid, loud, or dominant. True strength lies in flexibility, adaptability, and humility. Think about a mighty oak tree in a storm. It stands tall and rigid, and in a powerful gust of wind, it can snap. But the bamboo or the willow bends with the wind and survives. In our arguments, our careers, and our relationships, trying to be the unbending oak often leads to breaking. By embracing the yielding nature of water, we can navigate conflicts more gracefully, adapt to change more easily, and ultimately, find a more resilient and enduring form of strength. The person who knows they have nothing to prove is often the most powerful person in the room. Finally, let's talk about the three treasures that Lao Tzu says we should hold and cherish: compassion, frugality, and humility. He says, from compassion comes courage, from frugality comes generosity, from humility comes leadership. This is profound. Courage isn't born from aggression, but from a deep love and care for others. True generosity isn't about giving away what you don't need. It's about living simply enough that you always have enough to share. And true leadership isn't about being first or being above others. It's about daring to put yourself last, to serve, and to lead from behind. These three treasures are not just moral guidelines, they are practical tools for a meaningful and effective life, a life lived in harmony with the Tao. So, how can we bring this ancient wisdom into our 21st century lives? Start small. Practice wu-wei by noticing where you're forcing things. Maybe it's in a difficult conversation. Instead of pushing your point, try listening more and allowing silence. Embrace simplicity by decluttering one small area of your life, your digital desktop, a drawer, or even your mental to-do list. Cultivate the power of water by practicing flexibility. When plans change unexpectedly, instead of getting frustrated, see if you can flow with the new direction. And hold on to the three treasures. Practice a small act of compassion, be mindful of your consumption, and find a moment to appreciate the contributions of others without needing to take credit. The philosophy of Lao Tzu isn't a quick fix or a magic pill. It's a lifelong practice of unlearning, of letting go, and of returning to a more natural and authentic way of being. It teaches us that true power lies not in control, but in alignment, not in accumulation, but in simplicity, and not in dominance, but in humility. By embracing the way, we can learn to dance with life instead of fighting against it, finding a deep sense of peace and purpose in the effortless flow of the Tao. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the world of Lao Tzu. I hope it's given you some food for thought. If you enjoyed this video and want to explore more timeless wisdom, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, be well and flow on.